what am I saying? So, yeah, that actually has led me into listening to all kinds of other. Plus, I play drums, as the hobby. And so I've always liked, I guess, rap music. I refuse to call it hip-hop. I'm too white to call it hip-hop. It just doesn't sound right coming out. That rap music, that sounds right coming out of my mouth. But, I like, who's the guy I've been listening to? Lil Wayne's new one. I just really like the drums in that, and I also think he's fucking hilarious. Go behind your back like nunchuck. I find myself laughing when I'm listening. He's also amazing. Talking, let's do it. All right, enough with. Oh, that's what I'm into. And if I could, trombone, I would love that. If I could be like Bill Murray in Groundhog Day, I would master drums, guitar, trumpet, trombone, piano. That would probably be it. And maybe bass. I don't know. You know what? There's a guy I actually follow on YouTube. If you're a bass player, this fucking guy is the shit. Like, he plays all the great fucking songs that have just unbelievable bass lines. From funk all the way to, cover shit that you should know if you play in a band. Like that song, that 8675309. He plays that shit. He's just he's a pro. I'll put that link up. We'll have it up on the Twitter, at the MM podcast Twitter handle. We'll have all of that shit up there for you. So yeah, that's basically what I would do. I shut this fucking thing off. Jesus Christ, what did I do? Please tell me I didn't fuck this whole podcast up. Is that better? Was I leaning on this thing forever? Well, I don't have time to fix it. God damn it. At some point, I'm gonna make this a professional operation. All right, let's get to the next, I guess the final one here. Tennis. Oh, by the way, the flute. The flute is the one fucking instrument that there's just no. There's no cool way to play that instrument. There just isn't, and I don't want to hear about Jethro Tull. I don't want to hear it. The flute, the piccolo, like those are great little add-ons when you have an entire symphony. Like that's like the curb finders for the Remember back in the day when you're like, all right, I've tinted the windows, I have my vanity plate, I got fuzzy dice hanging from the fucking rearview mirror. What's the last thing you put curb finders on? Because you didn't want to damage your rims. That's what a flute or like a piccolo is. I mean, who would even risk? There's no way somebody just plays the piccolo. Like you're definitely playing multiple fucking instruments, and you're like the utility guy on the team. Like, hey, we need you to play right field. All right, I'll play the fucking piccolo, right? All right, tennis, anyone? Dear Billy Agassi. This person says, I have never heard you mention anything about playing tennis. It sounds to me like a sport you and the lovely Nia would enjoy. You're in your Jack LaLanne stage, and health seems to be important to you. Tennis is a great workout, and after playing a handful of times, you can actually see yourself getting better. In your case, we wouldn't call them tennis whites. We'd call them tennis pasty whites. Hey, everybody! Keep it going for that guy! What's your history with the sport? Ever give it a go? Yeah, I grew up in the 80s. The big tennis boom was in the 70s, so, the fallout of it was still there. I still have an oversized fucking racket, probably with catgut strings. No offense, Peter, but that's the way they made them back then. And maybe they're nylon. I have no fucking idea. I love tennis. I love watching and that type of shit. As far as running around, my back and shin splints. I'm not fucking doing that. I see, those people who play those running around sports, basketball and all of them. You ever see those guys when they get to their 30s and into their 40s and they're still fucking coming out there? Tape from their ankle all the way up to their hips. Your body was not designed to fucking do that, running around. I'd play on a grass surface. If they got a local Wimbledon replica, I'd fucking play on that shit. You know what's funny? So I got a tennis racket like everybody. I played a little bit in the 80s with my buddies, and we would talk all kinds of shit. We go out there and we get drunk, go down to the public court, the one that had the cracks in it with the grass coming up and like no net. So you just tie a string across it and you'd be playing at night. And you'd be arguing if it went over or under. Remember that shit? That's the way we'd play. We had a great time. And so when I moved out and I went to New York City, when I was packing the vitals, obviously the tennis racket didn't make it. And I remember one time I met this really, really nice woman. And I wanted to go on a date, and she suggested playing tennis because she was nice, rather than going out getting booze. And I was like, yeah, I got a tennis racket. And I liked her so much, I actually had my parents mail me my tennis racket down to me. And I went out to Brooklyn, and we played tennis. And she won. And that was the end of that. I'm saying the relationship lasted a little bit longer than that, but yeah, that's probably. I'm not into that shit. I'm not into. Although I got to tell you, I went over the Brooklyn Bridge and I jogged across it all the way back to my hotel, and I was surprised that I had that kind of wind. But I got back into skipping rope again. Did I ever tell you guys this is a workout that I used to do back in the day? I'd put on Classic Sports Network before they got bought up by fucking ESPN, and I would tape old fights. Or, if De La Hoya, he was the big guy back then, if he had a nice 12-round fight, I would record it, and hopefully it went like 9, 10, 11, 12 rounds, and then what I would do was when I would watch it during my workout, and what I would do is when the boxers were fighting, I would be skipping rope. I would skip rope, and I would be watching the fight. And when they rested, I would stop skipping rope. And then when they, started fighting again, I was back on the rope. And I would just try to build myself up to see how many fucking rounds I could get to. And you really gain an appreciation for the kind of fucking shape that those guys are in. Because you're just sitting there jumping up and down like, wee, 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 wee. They're actually trying to prevent somebody from beating the shit out of them while they try and beat the shit out of them. You know that. If you ever had a fight in your fucking life, if nobody trains to have a bar fight, it just fucking happens. Do you remember that shit? How winded you were after how long does a bar fight last? It's like usually under 30 seconds. You hear the glass breaking, you hear all the fucking shit. If you actually cut out all the shit talking and say, you want to fucking do this? You're fucking with the wrong guy. If you want to cut out all of that shit and just get down to the fighting aspect of it, it's usually under 30 seconds. And I swear to God, how hard you're breathing, it is ridiculous. And these guys are just 12 rounds of that shit. It's unbelievable. So that's the kind of thing, because I hate going to the fucking gym. I hate doing cardio and all that type of stuff. So I always try to have something going on that I can do that just doesn't have me staring at the clock and I feel like I'm in science class back in the day, So there you go. That's one to grow on, everybody. I think I hit everything. I might have to pull up a little bit short here. All right, everybody. I believe that's the podcast for this week. I had a wonderful time shooting the cheek with you. What do I got coming up? I got the benefits. All the information's up on BillBurr.com. I got it tonight and tomorrow. It's a benefit to help out starving children. I will be manning the lines, spooning out food during the afternoon, and I'll be doing the show late at night. I was going to be doing it with James Smith. Unfortunately, he's a little bit under the weather. I hope he's feeling better soon. So we got Paul, Don't Say I'm From Jersey, Verzi is going to be opening. And it's going to be a great time. It's for a great cause. And later on this month, I will be up doing the Montreal Comedy Festival. I'm going to be hosting one of the galas, bringing on all the new talent that's going to come along and woo the industry, force me out of the business. Anyways, I'm really looking forward to that. And other than that, I'm not doing shit.